And we're live. Hello, and thanks for tuning in. This is the SuperBoss Podcast, and I'm one of your hosts, Luc Tran, joined by my two co-hosts, Harrison Ngo and Ian Eatwell. If you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. If you're a new listener, just so you know what the hell you got yourself into, three of us are just a bunch of lifelong nerds, and we like talking about nerd stuff. Today, for sure, we're going to be talking about Shadowbringers, Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, and also talking about Shang-Chi, The Legend of Ten Rings. So, spoilers for those. I'm sure we will also meander our way into talking about other things. So, just sit back and we're going to get started. Harrison, how you been?
Dude, I've been good. I moved into a new place, so I say good, but I'm really tired after moving on. Well, not as bad because I actually hired movers this time. Per
That's pro
your
move, pro
recommendation,
move.
it is a pro move. Like I didn't get it to the point where they packed my stuff because I don't trust it that much. But at least they got my
They
got my
picked
stuff
up
out. They
everything
picked
and
it
then
up,
moved it.
put it down, easy.
Incredible.
Yeah. But dude, okay, no, for real though. Some of the stuff like they just like I had like this long desktop and it's made of wood, like legit wood.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just one dude. Usually like when I remember when we moved, like me and like some of the guys moved it, we had like two people, but like you had to like maneuver around the stairs and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude just picked it up and went.
Yeah.
And I was like,
that table that's heavy.
Yeah, that's a big table.
dude.
And it's also like long.
It's
so
long.
it's like hard to handle.
Maneuver. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, I was thinking, and well, also they were both like 6 foot something. So I'm like,
hello.
I'm a child.
For once in your life, you felt short.
Yeah. To put that in perspective, I'm like 5'10". So normally it's not that big a deal. Yeah, it is. I will say.
Short. I'm a short king. That's what they say.
You're a short king. You're a short king. Bless.
Bless.
But yeah, I mostly did that. But I guess I might as well just start with that. I have been lightly playing Shadowbringers. It's been harder just because I had to like pack stuff and move around, so I didn't have as much time. But
I mean, I think I've seen you play more Splitgate than Shadowbringers, at least. Or I'll see you. I see you in Final Fantasy, but you don't do anything.
Yeah,
because I remember there was like a 2-hour stretch where you were in Yulemore, and I was like,
I think I was like,
I don't think he's
probably.
Yeah, it's like I don't think he's there right now,
man. But I mean, yeah, okay. I've been playing Splitgate a little bit more, just because I think there's this whole. I'll play MCC with a couple of the guys, and then there is this little inkling where I'm like, I do miss having sprint, but I don't want to play Halo 4, and because I think it's just one of those things I've realized like I just like Reach a lot. I don't know what it. I think. And I don't even. I don't even think it's because it's that an amazing of a game. I think it's just because I played so much, put so much time into it when it first came out, that I'm used to it. It's like one of those like you leave and you come back and it's like you never left.
So comfortable.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like, yeah, it's weird because I like that in 3, but then when I play 4, I think I just had this bad taste in my mouth every time. Like I had to start it up. I'm like, I'm in Halo 4. I don't know what it is. It's fine now. It's not as bad because some of my friends forced me to play more often because they're like, oh, it's more modern, blah blah blah. Anyway, but yeah, I guess you're right. I've been playing Splitgate a bit more just because I felt almost burnt out with Final Fantasy because I was just like trudging through the MSQ, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that hiatus thing again. As in, stop for 1 year and leave behind like everything. Because it's still fun. It's just one of those like I want to get to endgame. I say endgame. I just get one person at level 80. I'm almost there. Like my ninja's like level 78, almost 9, I think. So he's close. Where I'm trying to remember. Where wait, where are you, Luke?
I am about to do the first dungeon of Shadowbringer, so I'm not super far in.
Okay.
Because you're still in. Are you still in base Shadowbringers? Or are you?
I'm still in base. In base, but I think I'm like 2/3 through, 2/3 of the way, roughly. Because I played a bit more a couple nights ago, But there's this one point when one of our friends, he was on. I was like about to get on, but then I didn't because there's this. It's not the first dungeon, but the second dungeon. I was stuck on it for such a long time, only because every time I got on, I was dead tired. But I wanted to get through it. But it's just one of those like I just want to like play for a little bit, then probably head off. But ended up just being tired, so I just head off anyway. But have you so you didn't get to try the whole bring your own not
Like
essentially
the trust system?
the trust system? Yeah. So
I haven't done that one yet.
You haven't done it yet? Yeah, because I think it's the first dungeon that you get to try that out. So,
Okay.
yeah. It's convenient, but it's much slower.
Yeah, I mean, because the AI is pretty brain dead, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. But they still do the mechanics correctly. In a sense.
Yeah.
So it does
They're just, like they don't do anything very efficiently. Is
like
what I
like, they don't
understand.
like for instance like the anchor it doesn't like pull that well. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to
luckily,
like
I'm
walk
a
a
tank,
bit.
so I get to pull everything.
must
It's
be
probably
nice.
different for you. It's different for you.
Yes.
You're a lowly DPS monkey. So
I ran through the first dungeon as a monk, like yesterday, just to like level and stuff. And I kept having to like inch forward a little bit, so because he'll walk in
sectioned
front
off.
of you, but he's
Yes.
delayed, so you
But
have
he's
to like
delayed.
him leapfrog to get him to aggro.
And they have that mechanic of like it's a nice one. It makes sense because it's like, oh, if you're too far ahead but you pull, he dashes, right? He does he does that. So it makes sense. But sometimes it's just I end up pulling things myself. I'm like, oh, if I see more stuff, I literally just walk up, then come back. But they won't walk up. You have to bring the mob back.
Yeah.
To exactly where he was. And then I'm like, all right. So it's fine. It's fine. But yeah. But I also it's just convenient for me because it was just like sometimes I'm like I've realized I'm at this point where I'm like I just want to veg out sometimes. And even though I could just chill in Discord with you guys, there are times where I literally just want to like vibe.
Yep. No, I get that.
You get what I mean? Yeah. So
No
that's
communication.
Yeah. But then that's why like whenever we get together, I'm down to like do like a raid or I need to get more of like the alliance raids and shit too for like the other stuff to like kind of just do stuff
Yeah,
for
like
you
the
guys.
gold content.
Yeah. But
that's the fun stuff.
Yeah. But there's one. Yeah. The other thing I want to talk about, we'll get to it anyway. Shang-Chi. So, yeah, mainly just been that Splitgate moved. Ian, what have you been up to,
dude?
Green screen man.
Yeah, I've been good. I've had a I've just had a lot more. I just feel like I've done a lot more in terms of like consumption of media. I
was like, are you just eating more? On that bulk
I consume
cycle?
all the meals.
That is no. That's not going at all, actually. Probably.
Oh,
I probably need to eat more. It'll be like 10 o'clock and I'll be like, man, I should have eaten more earlier today. I'm really hungry. So then I'll have to get like a midnight snack or something. No, but I watched I mean obviously we're talking about it later again, but I watched Shang-Chi. But I also watched the old final cut of Blade Runner.
Like the original Blade Runner, you mean?
Yes.
Or do you mean 2049?
The original one, yeah. The original one, but also the version of the original that is how the director fully intended it to be, or he had full creative control. That was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. I had never watched the old Blade Runner, so it was interesting. It wasn't. I had like obviously from like hearing about it, I had like
expectation,
like preconceived notions about it or what I thought it was going to be like, and it was It was kind of like that, but it was also not so much. I thought it was going to be more like mind trippy and like and more more like don't really know what's going on. It wasn't as much of that. I still really liked it. It just wasn't what I thought it was. So I'm interested. I'm gonna like watch the new one now to see what that's like.
Have you seen the new one already?
No, I haven't seen the new
Oh,
one either.
okay.
Yeah. But dude, I saw like the so in the new one, I believe they procedurally generated. No, it's not right. they CGI'd one of the actresses from the old one's face.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, they did.
seeing like I've seen like a scene from the new one with her, and seeing like the actual actress from the old one, that's like insane. That's some like insane CGI stuff. That was cool. But what else? I just finished some shows that I was watching. A show that I was watching that kind of like took a while to just watch the last episode of. It was Bad Batch. And
You're doing better than me.
Oh, yeah,
well, I don't have as many shows as I'm watching, I bet, as you do. But maybe not. I don't know. How many shows are you watching right now?
That I'm watching now?
Or like are in the
barely.
middle of?
Like, in all honesty, I've only been watching shit.
Don't
actually
remember.
just anime. Well, I was like, I know
Oh,
we were
okay.
lightly watching like Slime and like
Uh-huh.
did you catch up?
I haven't started the second season at all. Okay.
Oh,
He's traded anime for live action.
I have because and I became very aware of that today when we had a team building at work. We had to do like a bracket of shows, and I really didn't want to out myself as like a weeb because I was like, I actually wanted to win though, so I actually wanted my stuff to actually get. I was like, all right, I got to pick stuff people would actually pick, but I learned that there's so many shows that I want to catch up on, but not because they mentioned that there's this one show. It sounded really good. It's called Peaky Blinders. They said it was really good.
God, I hate you. Go. Everybody should just watch that show.
Everybody should read Worm.
The inside
Everybody
joke
should
is
do a lot of
essentially
things, okay? Everybody should do a lot of things.
Yeah, we can leave it. At that.
I don't know. It's not even like a life-changing show. It's just
no, but apparently, but no, like even I heard today, they're like, oh, it's really, 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 really good, and people should watch it.
Yeah.
But now I think the big thing right now is Ted Lasso, right? Have you guys heard about that?
Yeah, that's like getting popular.
Yeah. The issue is it's through Apple, so I'm like, I don't have access to that. So
Yeah,
apparently it's like the thing right now to watch.
I don't watch TV shows until it's been like at least 5 years, and like, oh yeah, this thing came out. I should probably watch it. Like Mandalorian. I watched the first 3 episodes like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, nice. Did you like it? Or of the 3 episodes that you watched, did you like it?
Of the 3. Oh,
Sneezed. I had to mute myself, and I hoped I muted myself.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice
that was
catch,
actually really
dude.
impressive.
That was a nice catch. Dang.
I mean, yeah, I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm letting myself think it's good because everybody already says it's good. So it's kind of like what you said about Blade Runner, where it's like I already have the expectation that it's already good, and so there might be things I would critique if I went in completely blind. But I mean, I'm still enjoying it. It's like a fun watch.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think a good mentality with that is it's good compared to what we've been getting with Star Wars. Like with the
For some of them, yeah. Yeah.
or at
I mean,
least
my only comparison would be to compare to the movies, and
no, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
what the movies are providing, it's like this is I think it was like a surprisingly good show. And well, also it's like we didn't know what to expect from Disney Plus. I think there's like a lot of things where we didn't know why it was good. Because I want to kind of want to go back and watch it too, and see how I feel.
Mhm.
But oh shit, you're watching, or you watched 3 episodes? Hell yeah!
And I'll.
That's
Who knows when I'll finish it?
brain fart.
Hmm?
No, sorry. Going back, Ian,
Okay.
we cut you off. What happened?
I don't know. What
Same.
did happen?
What happened?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was about it. Uh, I've been playing what 2 things: Final Fantasy and Magic. Nothing has changed. Is that all? Well, no, I played a Splitgate like the other day, and actually, no, I tried out.
I was gonna ask about that Super Wii MOBA you've been playing.
Yeah,
Oh,
I tried
yeah.
out Naraka Blade Point.
How's that?
It is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of like. There's a lot of like similarities with like fighting games
Uh-huh.
that they brought in, which I mean, it's like a, or I mean, it is a fighting game, right? It's basically like a battle royale without guns. I guess technically there are still guns though. They have like cannons and bow and arrows and stuff. But I think a lot of people focus on the melee stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. But I liked it a lot. It was really fun. The controls,
Can you use controller yet? I forgot.
you can
Is that a
use
thing?
controller, and I think I would like the game more if it was a little more like set up better for controller.
Mhm.
Because I like the combat part for controller, but like looting and stuff is not
Oh, not fun.
very easy to do.
Gotcha. Okay.
And it might be something that if you just play enough, you get over. I don't know.
Mhm.
But it is very cool, and it's the kind of like style of thing I like, where there's not a whole lot of buttons. It's like minimal buttons. So like for like your melee, you have 2 attack types. You have horizontal attacks and vertical attacks, and they string into like 3-hit combos.
Mhm.
And then they each have like a charge attack version. But it's just like 2 buttons with some mechanics of those buttons, and the rest of it is all just like mind game stuff. So like playing footsie, or you can, with your charge attack, you can charge it up to like 3 ticks.
Mhm.
But you can trigger the like attack before you like fully charge it. So it's like and then you can also counter those attacks, the charge attacks.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like timing, like kind of like waiting for your opponent. Are they gonna counter this, or are they not? And just like stuff like that. So you're constantly like having to like outthink your opponent. It's very fun. It's very fast paced. You listen, for like a shooter like an Apex. I got stomped like I'm sure anybody did when they first started playing Apex. Who at least isn't used to shooters, right?
Right.
Or doesn't play like a shit load of shooters. This game is like so much worse in terms of like getting shat on by people who play this game.
Yeah, it's like the nature of a fighting game too.
Yeah.
It's just if you don't know anything about fighting games, then you're gonna
You're
get
gonna get
yeah. Like when I was
stomped.
playing
Yeah.
Guilty Gear,
Mm-hmm.
it's miserable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that feeling.
Yeah. Um.
How many
Also, like
people
fighting
are on the
games,
team?
you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. How many people are on the team, really quick?
It's 3. Well, they have
Mm.
you can do trios, duos, and single.
I gotcha. Okay, curious.
Yeah. The general battle royale. Well, I guess not everyone. What isn't Fortnite like 4 actually? Think so.
It can be. Yeah. Fortnite's
Yeah.
4.
But like fighting games also you find people who are spammers, and then if you know what you're doing, you can punish them so hard.
Classic.
But yeah, it is really interesting. I think it just seems like it needs a little bit more like polish in the like menus and some things. But overall, it was really fun. It's definitely something I'm gonna try out again for sure.
This is something you have to pay for, right? You have to pay for this.
Yeah, it was $20, I think.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
not
it's
bad. I was like expecting like 30 or 40 or something, but yeah, 20 is not bad.
Yeah.
I guess.
Now, if you buy the DLC,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
like-
how they get you.
Never mind. Okay, here
stuff,
we are.
But anyways,
Huh.
yeah, that's about all I've been up to. I do have something I want to like bring up, but I think I'll bring it up like after we see what Luke's been up to.
Okay.
Nothing. That's my answer. I've been up to
Easy.
nothing.
Damn.
Let's continue.
Switch.
It's I have done nothing that is new to people who are listening. It's just Final Fantasy.
Hmm.
Let us move on.
All right.
Fair.
Well,
What are you going to talk about, Ian?
it's kind of like a lead into like the movie stuff.
Okay.
So I this is something that might just be like a non-thing. Like I might say this and then you guys are like, "Oh, cool." And then that's it. But I just
So
found
cool.
it really interesting.
Oh, cool.
Cool story, bro. But so on YouTube, I like randomly came across like one of the like video essay type people. This guy was called Captain Midnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, do you know?
I know. Yeah. I've
Oh,
watched.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I came across him talking about an old movie called Hancock. Which is
Is that the
starring Will
superhero
Smith.
movie with Will Smith?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Okay.
It's a movie that I remember liking.
But when you watch this video, you start realizing stuff, right?
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are like some things where I'm like, yeah, he has a point. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little bit messy. It's still really fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
It's
it's
like
not
I don't know.
great.
I don't know what he said about it, but to me, it was basically two different movies, and they just smashed them together.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's what it was.
yeah. From the apparently it went through like hell, and there were like many different renditions of the movie, and then nobody could
Mhm.
decide on what they wanted the movie to be. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is, I watched that, and he brought up like a really interesting point about how that was kind of like a like I forgot the like terminology he used, but it was the terminology they used, but he basically was saying that was like nearing the end of the like blockbuster like A-list star type movies. And now we've like transitioned into like these franchise movies.
Yeah. Right.
And so I was curious, I was
Oh, I
like,
see
is
what you
that
mean.
really true? And so I Googled like top movies of like decades, right? And I just was kind of like skimming over like the 1920s, 1930s. And it's like, oh yeah, these are all just kind of like one-off movies or movies based off a book that was like a single thing or like a play. And then I think, let me see if I can find it here. You get to like the beginning of the franchises, like the first movies of the franchises.
What's the first one? Is it Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
1970s
I'm
is
just
where I
guessing.
found it.
Oh, never
It
mind.
was
Oh shoot.
Godfather, Rocky, and Star Wars: A New Hope. And
Yeah.
from that point on, the like 1980s, the second Star Wars or
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 5. You get Raiders of the Lost Ark. You get Star Wars Episode 6. You get the first entry of Back to the Future.
Man.
And there's other ones too. And then when you get to 1990s, it's like either Disney or franchise movies.
Yeah.
That's it. Disney or franchises, and this is like top movies.
Yeah,
right?
like
Not
top, like top movies of like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not just in production. Yeah, I get you.
right. And then 2000s, except for like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, they're all franchise.
Like what?
And
No, like
Avatar,
just list some.
and Avatar.
I'm just curious.
Hmm.
Just
What?
can you list them?
Oh,
or do you have it in front of you?
yeah.
I'm just curious.
So you get like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone,
Yeah,
Spider-Man,
okay.
Lord of the Rings, Shrek 2,
Okay.
Star Wars
Yeah.
Episode
Last
3,
Shrek.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Spider-Man
Man.
3, The Dark Knight.
It's funny because it's like some of those movies, like for instance, I feel like Pirates was probably one of those, like it was probably just gonna be a one-off, but it popped off. So people, oh, let's just do a second one. You know
Like
what I
if
mean?
it did well, yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like some of those, like we say franchises now, but I feel like
Mhm.
Like at the
like
time,
Shrek,
they weren't
like even
planned to be
Shrek,
one.
like Shrek, I don't think it was planned to like be a sequel. Like there wasn't supposed to be a sequel. I feel
But I
like I
think
don't know, but
Yeah, but I think that's the point is like audiences are going
Are
to
driving,
see
yeah.
these. And
Yeah.
so they're like, oh, well, this is what they want. So
yeah,
we'll make more.
fair. The customer's always right. Let's
Yeah.
make more of this.
I find it really weird that Shrek 2 was like Shrek 1 isn't even on like one of the top grossing
Well,
on this,
because I
like,
thought
top
Shrek
grossing list.
2 was good though.
Yeah, I'm just surprised Shrek 1 wasn't on a list.
You know what? It was probably
It's overshadowed by the Shrek musical. That's why.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Shrek came out what?
2001 or 2002, I think.
Yeah. And also, I'm looking at top 2010 films.
Uh-huh.
Every single one, I think, is Disney owned.
I mean, that's kind of cheating. Disney owns like.
That's
I
true.
mean, they didn't
own a lot
own everything at that point, but Disney owned a solid quarter.
Yeah.
I think of most of media, so
Yeah.
that's already kind of tricky.
You know why I think Shrek didn't pop off that year? It's because Harry Potter 1 came out, Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring came out,
Yeah, that could have been it.
Osmosis Jones came out,
Oh my god, that movie.
Old movie.
Tomb Raider 1 came out. Like, wow, there's a lot of the first ones coming out this day. Oh, that's cool. I feel, huh?
Dude,
Yeah.
something about Osmosis, like I can't even explain this, but something about Osmosis Jones just like rubbed
But
me
weren't
in
you
a
so
weird way.
happy when you were in science class and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna watch a movie," and it was
Right.
Osmosis Jones?
True.
I remember they made a TV show after the movie.
They did.
Yep.
I
And
remember
then it's
that.
full circle because then we had Cells at Work, the anime,
Oh yeah.
which is basically just Japanese Osmosis Jones.
So
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
Dang.
I just found that really interesting. Like you can, it's a trajectory that you can like see. It's insane. But when I think about it, I'm not really surprised.
No,
Yeah, it's what makes
I'm
money.
not.
Yeah.
We're like, it's like that. I feel like we're in that phase with like a lot of like with movies and video games and some
Yeah,
shows.
a lot of
'Cause some shows
media
will do like
is
a
just,
breakout.
like
Yeah, they'll do like a spin-off or
Yeah.
something here.
like media is like a shotgun, and they find the thing that works, and then they just zero in
Yeah,
for like a decade.
yeah.
Mm.
Like zombie movies were a thing for a while, right? And then zombie video games were a thing for a while because people were like in that just the zombie phase. I remember that was a thing, and it's starting to slightly come back, but I don't think it'll hit like that. I don't know. We'll see. But
Yeah.
what's trending? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like right now,
I just
it is just superhero movies, which
Yeah,
now
this is
we're
definitely
gonna
the
talk
superhero era.
about. What superhero movie that you guys just saw?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Wow.
Wow, so good at
It
saying.
was very good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. It was great.
So good. I guess did you have any expectations when you guys came into when you watched the movie? Other like I
No.
know for me I have like that. Oh, go on.
I was like, I mostly the positive things I heard were word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Really, the only thing I was working off was I knew Aquafina was in the movie
Mhm.
and that Tony Leung was in it, and I like him as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
But I never watched because is it Simu? Is that his first name?
Simu Liu, yeah.
Yeah, Simu Liu. I never watched Kim Convenience Store, which I think is his big like acting role he had before.
Yeah.
So I didn't know anything about him. I don't know too much about Shang-Chi. So it was like mainly a blind spot for me, but I still
Mhm.
went out really liking it. And I went with some of my other friends who were they're decidedly over Marvel movies. Like they'll go when I want to go, but they're not super interested anymore. And they ended up also enjoying it. I think partly they mentioned that most of Shang-Chi wasn't really like Marvel-y,
Yeah. Yeah.
which was I really liked because like yeah, there weren't a lot of like quippy one-liner jokes, and the ones that were with a character like Aquafina's character is meant to be sort of the comic relief, and especially with the villain was very serious
Mm-hmm.
and didn't have like any funny moments.
Yeah. I liked how they played that off, if anything. Because the twist is like because technically in comics, Mandarin and Shang-Chi aren't trying to remember this correct. I remember because I watched so many of this. I remember that technically they're not related. They're not like
What do you
might
mean?
be saying this wrong. So, like the Mandarin's not technically supposed to be his dad, if I remember correctly. But I also might be wrong. Now that I'm thinking
But
about
he's
it.
not. Oh, you mean? I see.
Anyway,
Because
ignore me.
oh, okay, yeah, because the Mandarin is a dude who is pretending to be Shang-Chi's dad.
The leader of the Ten Rings.
When they played that off was so good. They already showed it off like in a short, but when they addressed it again, I was like, "Oh, this is beautiful. I love this." Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it was nice. I feel like a lot of what made Shang-Chi really good was it didn't like sit in the Marvel universe really hard, but it
Yeah.
also addressed the Marvel movie. Because in terms of like just the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole, I think they make one reference specific to like Avengers Infinity War / Endgame because they mentioned like the snap,
Mm-hmm.
but it was like one line basically. And then they have Tony Leung's character mention like the plot of Iron Man 3 in like a really funny, condescending way. And I was like, oh, like it felt way more refreshing because it wasn't being meta.
Yeah.
Because I hate when people say stuff like that, but it was definitely I think it was being more mature about like it's a comic book movie, but we can still take the plot seriously by addressing it.
Yeah,
And I
like
really liked it.
it's still good like how they still connect everything because everything still gets mentioned somewhat to an extent, but it's not like they like go in on it, right? It's not like we are a Marvel movie and we have superheroes here, but it's like focused on just Shang-Chi and like what he's dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
Yeah.
I guess another question is did you guys like the mystical side of it? Is it mystical, right? It's relatively more like
Like you're talking about the village of Ta Lao? Is it Tao
yeah.
Tao La? It was the Avatar movie we never got to have, and so I really liked it for that.
Hell
And
yeah.
that's not my thought. That's I've seen a lot of people say it, but I think it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like Shang-Chi just had a really beautiful blend of, I think, kind of that modern superhero Marvel cinematography with like Chinese old martial art, Chinese wuxia film martial arts. And no, I really liked it. And especially like just the way I guess the like martial artists or the Tao La village fights, it was visually distinct because there aren't any other characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe who really move or fight like that.
Yeah.
You could argue that some of the what do they call them? Like there's Doctor Strange and the Order that he's a part of.
Just sorcerers or something. Yeah.
Like they have that like monk aesthetic, but they very clearly use magic. But the people of Tao La, it's all more ancient, and it was really cool. And then you throw on the actual 10 rings, which were like by far my favorite. Like I think my favorite weapon they've ever introduced in
It's cool, right?
the
It's
Marvel
just so
cinematic
cool.
because like they use them in such an interesting way that because when with the way they're worn, and if you've seen a lot of Asian martial arts films, like like the iron bracers that people fight with, and I thought it would just evolve into like they make the character strong and they still slug it out, and then you actually see that
The use.
it's basically like Yondu's arrow on crack in the way that they move around and that they use in interesting ways.
Yeah, it's because it's just like versus just one arrow. It's like actually like he can like how he uses it.
It's a
Like,
really
insane.
good like a really good development because you see Tony Leung's character, he's the one who, owns the 10 rings. And he does have that stereotypical like brawler punchy, but he still uses them to blast. And then at the like the final sequence, as much as it is like it's a giant CGI fest, and that doesn't really bug me. But when Shang-Chi finally gets to use the rings his way, I was so happy because everything was super visually appealing. And yeah, he basically doesn't use them as a weapon. They're more like a tool that just happens to occasionally break down walls. Because that part where he's like throwing individual rings out in the air to use as stepping stones, it's like incredible to me.
Dude, I'm glad you noticed that. That was so cool when that happened. It's just like such a little thing where it's the difference, right?
And even with his sister, she uses a rope dart. And my only experience with rope dart is in like Assassin's Creed 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So seeing him on the big screen was also really satisfying to see.
Yeah.
Very like minimally explored weapon. And
yeah, like they're just getting to feature these weapons that
and then
you have a shield, a bow, a hammer, and then it's like, oh, I have rings.
Yeah. I think what I like a lot about it is we've been exposed to flying like so much is just like part of someone's like power kit or whatever to like just to like see a different mode of like transportation and how they use like I'm basically just repeating what you said, but yeah, like how you like mimic flight or mimic that like freedom of movement with a different set of tools is really, really interesting and fun. I think they did a good job like exploring it too.
It made me I feel like I'm going to be a little more disappointed in Eternals because of their power sets being very generic. And like it's not a fault on like the movie or anything. It's just like the way the characters are written.
Mhm.
Like Icarus is basically just a Superman XP, or there's another character who's like before Superman, but whatever. But like Icarus is a pretty bog standard Superman clone. Athena just summons weapons, and then you have a speedster. I don't remember whose character's name is, but Kumail's character just does like blasts,
Mm.
and it's gonna be like visually cool, I'm sure, but compared to something as unique as the Ten Rings, I feel like I'm gonna be spoiled.
Yeah, I was gonna
Same
say, and
thing,
then
like I was gonna say, like last thing, regardless of how you feel about the Amazing Spider-Man set of Spider-Man movies, the way they made that version of like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man move and swing, I think is the standout portion, because like I'm not really a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man because he's more fisticuffy and less like webby tricky, which is a really
mm-hmm.
dumb way of saying it. But if like going back to the fight in Amazing Spider-Man 1, where is it just called the Lizard? The Lizard. I don't remember the actual villain name. But when the Lizard like appears in the school and then Spider-Man ends up fighting him, he just moves in such a really different way. And he's like using more webbing than actual like fists. It's like that unique form of movement that both Spider-Man and the Ten Rings are like, I'm spoiled now. I expect these things and they're not going to happen. But it's fine. Shang-Chi I really liked. That's the consensus.
Mhm.
Or my final thoughts is I really like Shang-Chi.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you like it. It's funny because like I like how you like the rings, because in the comics they made such a good twist on how the rings are portrayed in here, because it really was just 10 rings, like legit.
Yeah, they
on your
wore them.
fingers,
Like
really?
they were
they were-
legitimately just the
yeah.
10 rings on. I forgot what they did. I didn't look.
Like I
if
think
I
the
knew-
rings just gave them powers.
Yeah, essentially they got powers, but yeah. So the way it was played
pretty
out in
lame.
this movie is really cool. So the
Yeah.
twist on it is really dope. But I didn't even think about how like you were talking about how like in martial arts when they have like the brass like rings and all that. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
exactly. I'm like, oh, that's exactly it. It was so funny because I was listening to a review or someone talking about it, and
Mhm.
someone made a very good point, and someone was like, I say this as like so the dude. So I say this coming like as an Asian person. I didn't even notice this until like it hit me. It was on either TikTok or Instagram. Someone was doing an interview, and someone was like, the dude was like doing a review, and he was like, I kind of wish Shang-Chi got to have some last words with his dad right before he died. I was like, then the lady who's Asian actually, she's like, dude, I think a lot of Asian kids would love to have that with their parents at the end of the day. So, but
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no. So there's like that. I didn't even think about it until I thought about it. I was like, it's legit a thing though, Ian. I see your face, and I'm like, it's legitimate a thing. It was so
deep. Like
it. Yeah, but I mean, with the way they were doing things, it made sense. Like, there's a lot of things where I watched it, and there's jokes where it's like, if you're Asian, you get this.
That's
like on the bus when the girl was doing a paper. You know, she was doing a paper on her laptop, and then the laptop got cut. I slightly like freaked out a little bit. I'm like, oh no, she's in trouble. And then someone's like, yeah, you did a paper before work, and now you're dead. Your parents are gonna kill you.
Like, I think it's really this is, I don't know if it's true or not, or maybe it's just a rumor, but in Simu Liu's show Kim's Convenience Store, apparently there were a lot of like background issues where the writers weren't given a lot of creative control.
Yeah.
Specifically like, hey, like this is a cultural thing, this is an Asian cultural thing, we want to do it, and they basically weren't allowed to. And I feel like in Shang-Chi there's so many like it's yeah, like you said, like it's nothing overt, but like if you know type thing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many, like, I remember there's one joke where Shang-Chi and Katie were going to that fight club,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the like MC Asian guy with a ridiculous mohawk talking to Katie in Chinese, and she's like, "Bro, don't get it." And the guy makes a note like, "Oh, it's fine. I speak ABC." And I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, haha, speak very basic English." ABC also means American born Chinese. So it's like if you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know. Or
Yeah.
even the scene, this is maybe one of more of my favorite scenes when Shang-Chi goes to Katie's mom's or their apartment. And like, so like, I don't know native Vietnamese well at all, like in terms of speaking, but I know it. And so whenever my grandma talks to me, she speaks to me only in Vietnamese. And then she doesn't know English, but I can respond in English. When Shang-Chi and Katie are talking to her grandmother only in Chinese and they respond back in English, I was like, this is just like I get it. It's perfect.
Yeah. And like there's little things where like me and my friend Veronica, we were talking about when we watched it. When, for instance, like when the grandma is always like, "Oh, when are you guys getting married?" And Veronica looked at me, she's like, "That's a thing, and I hate it." Because that's like and I've seen, and I like thought about it, I was like, "Huh." I was like, "Huh?" And then I went to a family gathering thing, and that's all they ever asked was any of the couples that were there. And I'm like, Lamau.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people like they kind of know the jokes of like when you're getting married or
Yeah.
hey, when are you gonna get a real job? And like, yeah, they're jokes, but it's also like they're also true. We get that all the time.
Yeah. We hear that a lot. It's not saying like everyone, but I know for sure it feels like it. It's like you hear
I'm
it.
pretty sure
but
it's happened to every Asian person I know.
Yeah.
They've gotten asked both of those two questions at least once by family.
Yeah.
So,
you know what's also like hilarious though, but also really cool? Simu, he used to be an accountant. Did I hear that right? Did you guys hear about that? How like he used to be either an accountant and then he became he wanted to go into acting. I think. Is that what it was? Hold on.
I know
If
he
I
was a
only
stock
thing
photo model.
Yes.
The thing that I heard was he was the stock photo model, and he was like a dude at who like dressed up for birthday parties or events and stuff. Like he was Spider-Man or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Oh
like
yeah,
like
he
costume.
did. He landed an accounting job, and then he was like, "Nah, I'm good." I was like, "Wow, that's typical
I mean-
Asian." You get to that point, and then you like just drop out. And you're like, "Nah, I'm good."
This is soul sucking. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also just so it's like I only knew of him because I watched like a lot of Wong Fu stuff back then, and he was always just like one of the like this backup characters or like just one of the characters that would portray certain things. But so when you mentioned Kim's Convenience, it was like one, but then a lot of people are like, wasn't he in that Asian Bachelorette short?
He
And I
won
was like,
season 2, I
yes,
think.
yes, that was it. And I was like, wow, that's old because it was like a few years ago, and I'm like, this is crazy. But and
Hey,
also
the guy looks good.
yeah,
I want
it's
his
crazy.
workout routine.
Yeah, like legit,
Or,
it's dope.
I mean, I could do his workout routine. I want to be paid to do the workout, to be given a
Yeah.
personal trainer, to have someone make all my food for me. I want that.
Got to get on that Marvel fitness. Oh God. And also, I think another cool thing is they pulled a lot of like they did pull a lot of Asian representation in the sense in that like the choreographers were people like they were YouTuber kids that did stuff like they did. It was like you guys, if I show you it, you guys might recognize it, but it was like these YouTube shorts where like if it was like Avengers if they were like doing martial arts instead.
Mhm.
And it was like
Yeah, I
these
know what
guys
you're
that
talking
did the choreography for that actually did a lot of the stuff for the
Mm.
movie. I was like, that's insane how much they pulled. And then they had like an
Yeah, like-
extended.
So many of their fight scenes were just really non-standard too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the bus fight scene
The bus fight, yeah.
which was really good and is like if you're on the fence about going to see Shang-Chi, but you know Old Boy, like the 2003, it's either 2003 or 2008 Old Boy, the Korean Old Boy. There's a fight where it's like one long shot in a hallway, and that bus fight scene is like such like as soon as they start, I was like, this makes me think of Old Boy. Just the way it's shot and the length of that fight scene, and then they go to like the scaffolding fight. It's so much more like martial arts, like anime bullshit
Yeah.
that I unabashedly love. So,
Dude, and you notice how fast they got into that fight too? Because that bus fight happened like 15 minutes into the movie.
yeah, like
Yeah,
things
it was
kind of
so
just
fast.
start.
Like I was like, this was an action-packed movie, and it was just awesome. It was so good.
Yeah, it was a really nice origin story because it was an origin story, but they don't give you the whole life story of this is Shang-Chi. Like they
Yeah,
have
I liked
what?
But you still
Okay, go
got
ahead.
it. You still
yeah,
got it though,
I
right?
liked the like amount of flashbacks they like
Yeah.
put in. They give you like enough context, but not
Enough,
too much
yeah.
where you're just kind of like, all right, I get it, I understand.
Yeah. Because it feels like other I think it's like Shang-Chi has that it has that ability, like it doesn't have too much of a comic following that I think kind of helps in that aspect, because it's like they don't have to pump in all this like, oh, like Iron Man, they have all these origin stories that they could pull from, right?
Mhm.
This is, oh, how do we pull it? We want to, they have to actually kind of stuff it. While here it's like pretty concise, like there's not much, but it's enough that I'm like, oh, this is cool, like I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some leeway on that.
Provides like a lot of focus.
Yeah. And I just think it's cool how, like, I'm just curious, how did you guys watch the end credit on that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Some people are saying like the rings are calling to the Eternals or something. It's just weird because I never expected the rings. I thought the rings were already cool, but I didn't think they have some kind of pull.
So yeah,
I was
like
like,
have
what?
bigger implications because
Yeah.
the
like-
the theories I've heard is that the rings are celestial tech,
Celestial tech, yeah. Which would make
would-
sense.
and it ties into Eternals as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Interesting.
So good. Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you like the movie.
Implication.
Like, I was really curious because I was like, it's one of those, like, I liked it a lot, but I couldn't tell if it was just like one of those, like, one, I'm super into superhero
Like
stuff, but also
I think it was a pretty solid movie. Like
yeah,
maybe my only complaints are like some of the acting felt a little wonky,
mm-hmm.
and at least to me the soundtrack was, I don't really remember the soundtrack all too well,
Yeah.
but like visually it was great. The effects were incredible, especially like, yes, the last third of the movie is like huge CGI fest, but the CGI looks good, and it's like at some points it looks really good.
It does.
And then
Yeah.
just the rings themselves are like the rings. People always, I remember with Mjolnir in like Thor's hammer, people would always say like Mjolnir would kind of acts as its own pseudo character because it has like a really distinct sound, and it's always like doing these really interesting things. And the 10 rings were basically an entirely unique character because
Yeah.
yeah, it was really fun to watch the rings, and then they
Mhm.
sounded super good.
So cool.
Yeah.
Man, that one part when the dad just goes like insane though after the death, when he's like, he just took Shang-Chi as a kid into like that one.
Yeah.
That was cool though. Like, it was just like, Tony Leung, like he's such a good act. Like I forgot how much stuff he was in, that like, because I was just looking up after, I'm like, oh yeah, what has he been in? I was like, I've watched most of
A
the
lot.
stuff and I forgot.
A lot
Like,
of stuff.
whoa, it was like so much more than I remembered, but it's because I forget. I was like, I looked at him, I was like, he looks familiar. The man technically didn't really age at all. I was like, man, age no reason, like legit. And it was also, when you spoke of like the soundtrack, they have an extended album on Spotify
Oh.
that I was listening to. And Rich Brian is the one that actually curates the whole thing. Obviously, most of it's not. It's like just they try to like promote like Asian artists and all that stuff, and it's really good. I was like, wow,
Mhm.
a lot of stuff. I was like very impressed. So
Yeah.
give that a listen.
It
Such a good
makes
movie.
me like I'm still really excited for Eternals, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm tempering them now because
Did you expect that though? I never expected
what
to like
like
I remember you're super hyped for Eternals, and you're like, oh,
I am,
I'm
but
like,
like there are just some things that I think Shang-Chi did really well. And maybe it's also because I didn't watch a lot of the trailers for Shang-Chi. Like
yeah,
I think I've only seen one trailer for Shang-Chi, but I've seen all the Eternals trailers, and there are some parts in the trailers where I'm just like, this makes me suspect.
yeah,
Like there's more of the Marvel quippiness in
mm-hmm.
Eternals, and it's a big like Eternals is a really big cast, not just in terms of who
Yeah,
the Eternals are, but you have Kit Harington's character. You have potentially who I think is the villain,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to say who that is. And it's just like, because you already have the Eternals is what 7 or 8 characters of
Yeah,
like in and of themselves. It's a big cast, and I think Shang-Chi did well because it's a really tight cast.
the typecast. Yeah, I think that's also just like
So
I think that's just a side effect of whenever a movie has a juggle. You know, I think that will be an issue.
yeah,
They're
like
watch.
they're
They're gonna
having
pair
to
off people.
juggle,
Yeah, they're just
and
gonna
so it's
pair off
gonna
people
be
in second. Yeah.
difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like I said, like I mean, based on the trailer scenes I've seen, Icarus looks like a really cool character. He's the basically Superman XB, but I'm just wondering if it'll be as appealing as it was watching the Ten Rings in action.
Ooh.
So we'll see. Like I'm still really excited, but it's now I have a different movie to compare to because I didn't see the other or was Far From Home technically Phase 4?
No, it was end of phase. Wait, what phase are we in now?
We're in Phase 4.
It's technically phase 3.
Okay,
It was the end. It was technically the end of phase 3, and
because I mean
WandaVision
I know
started
we
off.
have um
The only other movie
Black
was Black
Widow
Widow.
is
Yeah,
Phase 4, and I didn't
yeah,
see it.
yeah.
But like, I think Shang-Chi was a really good start to Phase 4, and so it's going to be interesting to see how. Like for me, Eternals is the one that I can tangibly go see because I don't know anything about. Or like we haven't seen any marketing besides fan posters or teasers for like
Mm-hmm.
Thor: Love and Thunder or Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Like Eternals now has to compare to Shang-Chi, and I really like Shang-Chi, so.
Yeah, I think Shang-Chi or Eternals is one of those like you were more excited for it than me. Like I'm like curious,
Yeah, it's like I'm
and
trying not to
I'm
psych
still on the
myself out
fence.
and like
Yeah,
overhype it to me.
because I'm still on the fence on that. But it looks like it'll look. It looks like it'll be a beautiful movie if you get what I mean. Like it'll
Yeah.
like the shots and everything will look amazing.
Mhm.
I have a feeling, but we'll see on the plot and everything else. Ian, any final thoughts on Shang-Chi?
Uh,
I feel like we
no, I
just
think
like
we
went off.
pretty much covered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think they did like I enjoyed it a lot. Um, there's nothing for me to add really
Mhm.
to what we've already covered.
Yeah.
So
Other than you liked it too. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
good.
think it was a pretty solid movie.
Yeah.
Solid movie.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I just wanted to talk about Shang-Chi with you guys after. I was waiting.
Yeah. I guess just like something that I thought was going to be more prevalent, but they did it differently. The way that the Taola martial art is shown, like when the wife is fighting the husband.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I thought that was going to be how all the fighting was, but it wasn't. It was much like it was much faster. And it wasn't as like mystical and floaty
Yeah.
like their like style is supposed to be. Like from the village. But that's not bad. That's just something that was like an expectation that I was like going in with, but was not the case.
I get that because like it is so different than anything else in the movie that
Mm-hmm.
it would have been cool if that was featured more.
Yeah.
Because even
Yeah.
like at the very end, Shang-Chi like kind of moves like the Tao La,
Mm-hmm.
but the actual effects are more like when his dad fights, and it's like I get what they were trying to go for. They're trying to show like, oh, Shang-Chi's a blend of both sides, but
They kind of do. I guess
It kind of did.
it happens
Like, at the
more at
end,
the
somewhat.
beginning of the fight, of the final fight with his dad. More at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
beginning, they show
At
that.
the beginning of
and
that,
then
yeah.
once he has the rings from his dad, or once he steals them, at least, it's more like fast paced and
yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good.
Eh.
Cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious how. I don't know. I'm curious, like, how much. I guess it's just something we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm just curious how Shang-Chi is going to
Like fit in
meld
with the
into
rest
the
of.
universe. Yeah.
I mean,
I definitely feel like he's like a B tier. Like he's gonna be like an Ant-Man type character
yeah.
where he'll be there, but his effects aren't really because I mean they even show the like the end credit scene. You
Mhm.
have Captain Marvel and Hulk,
Yeah.
who were like I guess OGs, and
Mhm.
so I mean between them, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, there's like a definitive tier, and I think yeah, Shang-Chi is going to be that lower level. Will show up for the big collab movies, and then
Mm.
that's it.
I have a feeling that I'm just no, I have a feeling that's gonna be the case. You're right on the dot.
Honestly, what this movie did for me was just make me want to watch more of the just old Chinese martial arts
Yeah.
films.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. There's Hero.
Dude, he's in Hero. That's
Yeah,
the
he
crazy
is.
part. I forgot and then like because my fiance's never watched it, and then I looked at the scene because she's like, "There's one scene." I was like, "Yeah," and I rewatched it. I was like, "Yep." I wanna
Heroes
rewatch this
is
movie.
like a stacked cast.
Dude, I
'Cause
forgot how
there's Tony
stacked it was.
Leung,
Dude,
there's Jet
Donnie
Li,
Yen
yeah,
was in it too.
and
Oh,
I
was
was
he?
like, "What?"
Shit.
Yeah, dude, it's
I like
crazy.
Donnie Yen.
Forgot how
did I say Jet
stacked
Li?
it
Not
was.
Jet Li.
Oh yeah, Jet Li's in it. Yeah,
Is he?
he's the main dude. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just having.
Are
a
you thinking
brain
of?
fart.
I was gonna say.
Like I'm just having a brain fart. Ignore me.
He's
Because
also
yeah.
Grandmaster, right?
Yeah.
What?
Are we thinking?
He's
I
in it.
hope we're thinking of the same movie.
No, we are.
But yeah, we are. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's get it again.
You guys want to wrap up? You got anything
Yeah.
else? Anything you're looking forward to?
Hmm.
Like anything?
I mean, I am going to be playing the Halo beta or Halo technical preview
Hmm.
this weekend,
AKA the server test.
aka the server test. So
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
watch me not be able to play it at all. It'll be great. I
I'd
love
be
it.
so sad. I hope you stream that to us on our Discord sometime.
Dude, I'm
'cause I
down.
want to see what it looks like.
Hold on.
Ian, you
I
interested in anything?
actually, I'm looking for. It already came out on the 16th, but I was excited for a game called Eastward.
Oh yes.
Eastward?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was. It's by Chucklefish, I believe.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do remember seeing this.
published by Chucklefish.
Published by
but
Showfish,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
devved by Pixpill.
Yeah. I've never
Um,
seen this.
Yeah, I've been like kind of a fan of the stuff that Chucklefish has done, so this came on my
Mhm.
radar like a long time ago. Is when they
don't
like
think I
announced
have
that it was in development.
any idea what you're talking about. Is it so?
It's like
Huh.
is it 8-bit? Maybe like 16-bit? I don't know.
Eh,
But it's like a
it's
The
not.
art
I
looks
feel
really
like
nice.
not even.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
not
looks a lot
even.
better than that.
Yeah, that's the hard part. I don't know how to describe that, but yeah.
But
Oh. I only heard about it because I heard it from one of my podcasts. So it looks that was it. It looked pretty cool.
nice. Yeah, I was interested.
God,
in this,
it looks like a cartoon the way it's like.
Yeah,
animated.
this is just cinematic. This isn't like gameplay.
It
Yeah,
makes
this
me think
one.
of Spirit Fair, like the art style.
There it is.
Okay, yeah, but it's like almost pixelated.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
Yeah,
yeah.
it's got like the style of pixel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it just came out last week, right? Yeah, last Thursday.
Yeah, last week on
Yeah.
Can we turn this down a little bit?
Thursday.
But
Turn it down a bit. That'd be great. Yeah, it just watching like the stuff that has come out. It's reminded me of like old adventure game type
mhm.
RPG type games.
Yeah, I think Ian said it came out the 16th.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And I
Soundtrack's kind of
actually,
bopping though.
yeah,
No,
I haven't
soundtrack's dope.
actually watched this, so this is interesting.
Spoilers.
But that's what I'm
How-
looking forward to.
Speaking of games that just came out,
Uh-huh.
that game Kenna Bridge of Spirits, I think,
Yeah.
comes out
It-
Have you
today
guys
or
heard anything?
tomorrow.
yeah.
Huh?
Oh, it's coming out today or tomorrow.
It's like today
Yeah.
or tomorrow, I think.
Okay.
And I got really nervous when I heard that because I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I was
Like,
gonna ask.
I remember the initial trailer, and then maybe like one or two articles,
Yeah.
and then I heard that the review embargo doesn't lift until the day of release,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound good.
Do you think it's just Sony trying to be quiet, or
I think
It's got an 80 so far on Metacritic.
it,
wait,
okay.
this can't be right.
So far.
It's only $40.
Yeah, it's only $40. Yeah, it's only 40. Yeah.
It's
It's
I don't have a PS5.
5. Yeah.
too bad I don't have a. So
Like,
upset.
I was worried that it was going to be one of those, like, it would end up kind of like Godfall, where it was like a really pretty looking game, and then the game itself just wasn't that good.
Mm.
But if it has an 80, maybe that's
So far,
maybe
yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. So far, it's got an 80.
IGN 8, Metacritic 84, PC Gamer
Okay.
65. Those aren't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that was. I remember what E3 when they first showed it off. We were all like,
Oh,
"Whoa,
Dude,
this looks good."
I've been following. It's just because it's been delayed so much, so I just kind of like.
No, it
That's the
is
other
out
thing.
today because I keep getting a stupid pop up from Epic.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenna's out now. Buy it.
Too
So
bad
it's
I don't
out
buy-
now.
Too bad I don't play
Yeah.
on Epic. Lamau. We don't have so many games. I have so many games on
Interesting.
Epic.
That I'm seeing images. I don't know if they just like changed character design or if there's like some time skips.
Oh,
I don't want to spoil
dang.
myself. I'm just gonna stop looking at it.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
I'm gonna look.
Dude, okay, yeah, I did. You know what? That's why I keep getting notifications on Kenna. I kept seeing stuff. I couldn't look at work, but I wanted to get it, but it's on Epic, and I don't feel it's really just me not wanting to get like another launcher. At
Oh,
this point,
I didn't know it
Mhm.
was on Epic.
it's on Epic. Yeah, it's
Interesting.
on Epic as an exclusive right now. I don't know if it's exclusive or just it's probably timed.
Time.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll
I
see.
do want to play this too. I want to play this too. Damn.
Dude, I have free games on Epic still. Maybe
I have
should-
free
I have a
games on
lot of
Epic.
free
I have
games
so-
on Epic,
Yeah.
so we can
Oh, boy.
sign off, and then we'll all play one free game. That's the rule. That's the way we're gonna start ending these. So the next time,
What?
we'll be like, "Hey, how far did you get in your free game? Are you playing a new one yet?" But let's go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you hanging out, listening.
Mm-hmm.
We have our YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
SuperBoss Podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
That's where we post our audio. If you're not watching us live, which it's impossible to watch us live, so you can listen to us there. Or I believe we can also find us on the various number of podcast apps on your mobile phone. So feel free to check us out there. You can also tweet us, or you can follow us on Twitter. It's SuperBoss Pod. Feedback, criticisms, yelling at us, any sort of social interaction, because we hate being cooped up in our rooms talking to each other over the internet. So yeah, appreciate a follow, appreciate a listen. We will see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.